Welcome, everyone, to the Pint and Click podcast. My name is Caleb.
And my name is Greg.
And we are going to talk about your favorite video games. So grab a pint of your favorite drink, find a nice, comfy chair, and put on some Los Santos rock radio as we dive into this.
That's the one that's got Ted Nugent on it.
Ted Nugent?
I don't know if he's on it. I just thought, I don't.
Oh, okay. Oh, man, the guy that does that radio station. It's Kenny Loggins.
He's got a highway to the danger zone. That took me far too long to populate that title in my head. I think I'm a step off this week. Let's reschedule episode 23 for next week.
Yeah. Well, that's all, folks.
Thanks for joining us for episode 22.75. So, Caleb, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I tell you what, still in a rut, a never-ending rut of trying to find games to play. But I did play a demo earlier before we started this podcast that has made me now want to buy a game. So see, demos still have purpose in this world.
All right. Now, what demo would that be?
I played the demo for Viewfinder. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've not.
It's on PlayStation, I want to say just 5, but it might be on 4 too. Did you ever play Superliminal?
I watched more of it than I played.
Okay. It's a lot like Superliminal. Very, I don't even know what the word is. Puzzle heavy, I guess. But all of the puzzles are based on looking at things kind of. In Viewfinder, you do a lot with pictures. So you find a picture, and then you hold up the picture to whatever spot you want it to be, and then you click a button, and then that picture suddenly goes from being a 2D picture to a 3D world that you can step into.
Oh, I've seen footage of this. Now that you describe it.
Yep. I played the demo just a little bit before we started the pod. It was a short demo, but it got the point across of what the game is, and man, I loved it. I had a lot of fun playing it. So I will be buying the full game eventually and giving that a shot.
All those games are really cool, like those kind of puzzle walkthrough games. Like The Witness is another one that comes to mind.
Yep, The Witness is cool.
It's not so much the same, but Stanley Parable is less like mind-bending puzzles, more just mind-bending plot, but similar.
Yep.
So you said you're gonna pick that one up, or you've?
Yeah, I think when I'm ready to move on to a new game, I think I'll pick that one up.
That'll be good. Do you know the price tag?
I think it was around, I want to say $25.
Yep.
Somewhere around there. So not bad for a game.
Now, I, like you, have similarly kind of continued my rut of not playing anything.
Yep.
For the most part. There is one game, a game that I want to talk about this week that actually did get me to play a little bit this week. And that game is Dead Cells.
Okay, yep.
Are you aware of Dead Cells at all?
I had to think about it for a second because the name clicked before the game itself did in my head. But yes, I'm aware of it, yep.
Really, it's a game that I've tried a couple of times and never could get it to stick. But this time, for some reason, it has stuck. It's very similar to Hades, which was absolutely my jam. But it's more of a side-scroller kind of beat 'em up instead of top-down isometric like Hades was. But a lot of the same concepts, that kind of roguelite genre, where you start a run and you go to the map is procedurally generated. You got to beat enemies and you get to the little mini bosses. And some of your stuff resets when you die. Some of it you keep, and that's how you get stronger and continue to improve at the game. When I first picked this game back up, I made 2 runs that lasted 5 minutes or less. And then on my 3rd run, I went over 30 minutes. So just kept kind of going. No real clue exactly what I was doing, but for some reason, that run I was able to just keep going. The one thing I think I would complain about with this game is I don't feel like I have a real sense of what I'm supposed to be doing. Other than, I mean, like goal basically. You know, I don't know what my
Yeah.
end goal is in this game. But what's kept me playing is that it's just the gameplay loop is so good. The gameplay loop just keeps you like engaged as you kind of keep pushing through these enemies, and the combat feels really fun. And I don't understand why I wasn't able to get it to stick before, but I'm glad I got it to stick now, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like it's really highly rated across the board.
Oh yeah, and they recently, because it's had some legs because it's been so well received, and they recently did some sort of collaboration with Castlevania. So like there was like a crossover between Dead Cells and Castlevania.
Interesting.
So I guess what I would ask you, Caleb,
Yeah.
do you have any games like that where you feel like you're just like one little thing away from getting to like really understand and enjoy a game, but you just haven't been able to?
Hmm. Man, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think generally there's a few games where like I don't know that it's necessarily been one thing specific, but like I do think there's a couple games where like probably something about them has made me want to stop playing, but I couldn't really put my finger on why, you know? Um so yeah, I'm sure I have some games that fit into that category. Off the top of my head, I really got nothing, but
Yeah. Another one it's in the same kind of vein. Or Castlevania games are similar to
you got him.
Castlevania games.
You got him.
Is Hollow Knight for me. I
Mm-hmm.
always feel like I am one flipped switch away from fully understanding, just want to like plow through that game, but I never can do it.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it at length here because we've already talked about it to death probably. But I I recently I recently decided I should probably give um Atomic Heart more of a shake, you know, should really try it out. Um, I just can't. I can't do it. I
Yeah.
played it for probably like 5 minutes when I re-downloaded it, and I don't know. There's something about it. The specifically like so at the very beginning of the game, you remember it like has you do the melee combat instead of like guns or anything. So you just have a little fire axe that you hit things with,
Yeah.
and it felt so boring and uninspired. Like nothing about the combat felt difficult at that point or challenging. And like I know it's the beginning of the game, but like man, between that and then the character just being a real
Insufferable.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was just a no go for me. I had to put it down.
Yeah, I mean, I think we even talked about this last week, but that's just a game that, like, when I put it down, it evacuated my brain, and like any desire I ever had to play it just left. I was like, nope,
Yeah,
all good.
well, and for me, the whole reason I went back to it, I'm craving a new BioShock, pretty much. We had talked about BioShock last week, and then like I spent this whole past week just thinking like, man, BioShock was so good. I really just want that again. And like I have no interest in playing BioShock 2, which I know is just, you know, a lot like BioShock 1 and I think still rated a pretty good game. For me it's too similar to BioShock 1. I want BioShock but a little different. And yeah, I decided I'd try Atomic Heart again, and it did not jive with me.
You know what another game like that is that like kind of as you said like you know like oh I should try that again
Huh.
is Dying Light 2 is like that for me. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
this itch in my brain where I'm like no this is going to be the time because it took me 5 or 6 times and it wasn't until like last year that I finally played Dying Light. But
Yep.
when I really got into Dying Light, I really got into it. So I'm like, oh man, I'm just there's just one thing that I'm gonna find it in Dying Light 2, and really I'm gonna love that game. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's actually gonna bear fruit.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Dying Light 2. I got it pretty soon after it came out cuz I'm a sucker for mass hype. Well, and especially because like I did enjoy Dying Light 1. So I figured no way the second can be like worse or anything. And I don't think it is worse necessarily, but like I don't know. There were some things about it that I just couldn't get into. And like for me, and I know this is not why people play Dying Light, but for me, like I loved the guns in Dying Light. It made you feel super powerful and also super weak when you would like run out of ammo and all of a sudden have to scrounge around for other guns or weapons. And like yeah, the fact that they don't have any guns or anything in Dying Light 2 is a pretty big bummer for me.
Yeah, I think it's interesting from the perspective of like why they decided to do that,
Mm.
but it's also like I do think there was a point I remember in the original Dying Light where I was struggling with something, and it was because I only had no, melee weapons. Or maybe it's not maybe not why I was struggling, but that was a big part of the reason why I was struggling.
Yeah.
And someone popped into my world with guns and just like threw me one, and then it like helped me through that, and it was just like such a crazy like good moment in that game to me. Was like, oh, now I have a gun that's gonna make this infinitely easier.
Yeah.
That's a moment I always remember with that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked Dying Light 1 a lot, and I remember like I pretty much did that when my brother and I started playing. He started playing a lot later than I did, and so I had guns, and so by the time we were playing together, like I was just tossing him shit and being like, yeah,
Yeah,
you'll never have to worry about struggling in this game now.
right.
But and like I said, the guns, while I think definitely helped in Dying Light 1. You know, I at least personally, I never felt like it made me invincible in the game. It was just a way to have, I don't know, a different method, I guess, of fighting the zombies. Because like I get tired of hitting things with a stick, relentlessly till it goes down. Um, and that's where like the guns are fun because it kind of allows you to choose your play style more than just saying like, here's a wrench, go beat a zombie with it.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that Dying Light 2 uh, uh kind of oversold and underdelivered on was the branching of the story from the couple of hours that I played, and from what I've heard just watching videos about it, is it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like that game does as much in the way of branching and in narrative choice as they kind of had sold to the audience beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I remember seeing a lot of things about the game when it was still coming out and thinking like this is going to be amazing, and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. There were some things. Also, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I also feel like the demo they showed of the parkour way back when, I feel like they still made it look somehow so much better than it actually functions in game. But
That parkour is always going to be like very mystifying to me because I'm sure I've gone into it on the podcast before. I'll go into it again, and this won't be my last time. If you want to complain about it, Caleb.
me?
No. Uh, when Dying Light came out originally, the first game, I was like super excited for it. It was like this is gonna be the greatest game. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And part of the reason that I put it down so quick and didn't get through it was because the parkour was so like clunky.
Yeah.
And when I was able to pick it up and play it again and kind of when I enjoyed it and beat it, there was something like the parkour didn't change, you know, but it somehow it's almost like the opposite of controls getting worse with age. It's almost like somehow they got a little bit better as the game got a little older. I don't know. It's or more
Yeah.
tolerable rather than better. But in Dying Light 2, yeah, no, just I felt like it did the exact same thing where it was like, okay, well now I'm not really into this parkour, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think overall they might have just like had because I know a big thing for me when the first one came out and I finally got to playing it. I remember there just being a lot of bugs with parkour. Like I would get stuck in a lot of places, and so like probably part of what makes the parkour feel so much smoother nowadays is the fact that they've probably patched out so many different bugs with it.
Right. Yeah, that is probably true. It's hard to believe Dying Light 2 is already like what, a year and a half old.
Yeah,
It's pretty wild.
it's hard to believe any game is old now. I
Yeah.
feel like everything just came. I mean, shit, Tears of the Kingdom is a few months old now.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
It's in its infancy stage. Do you want me to look up what development age the Tears of the Kingdom should be doing?
No,
All
I
right.
think we can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Uh, Caleb, I've got bad news.
Okay.
Horses know no boundaries.
Uh, is this in reference to the Sims 4 horse DLC?
You better believe it is, Caleb.
Nice.
Straight from the desk of Polygon's Cass Marshall comes the headline: Sims 4 horses know no authority. It will enter your houses without fear.
Wow.
Yeah. The article goes on to describe the issue, saying the newest Sims 4 expansion pack is called Horse Ranch. And as you might expect from the title, it's all about horses, which are supposed to be on a ranch. But some of these naughty ponies have decided they want to go indoors.
Oh, man.
There's a horse invasion and players, poor Sims, just have to deal with that. So, as much as I love this idea of horses inside a house, the article was actually a gateway to something much more for me, something I've now come to love even more. Sims patch notes. Have you ever seen any of these, Caleb?
Dude, I read them every single time there's an update.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
So, I wanted to bring to you some of my favorites that I came across in my exploration of them.
Oh, please do.
Okay, first off, here we have the tell funny story to toddler whim is now successfully fillable.
Yep. You can finally do it.
You can make that toddler get the joke. Let's see here. What else do we have? Sims can now nap on the fountain of Gluteus Maximus. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fixed an issue that could cause a teen to be trapped in a child's body when traveling to the future at the exact moment of a birthday.
Wow, is that a Sims 3 patch note?
Oh yeah, we're getting into we're going deep.
I was gonna say the future. That's a Sims 3 DLC.
Mm-hmm. The Murphy bed has been made less lethal.
Oh,
Well,
what does that mean?
Yep. The child Sims will no longer play in sand indoors where there is no sand.
Hey, that's good or bad. Maybe they're stripping them of their imagination.
Yeah. Children need to have imagination.
Yeah. What's going on there?
Fairy children will no longer stretch into adult size when using the talk to plant interaction.
That's terrifying. I would love to see that one in action.
An error that causes the Sims to reset when scooping a dead fish out of an aquarium has been fixed.
Wow. That's really good. You ever see the really long Sims when they like extend like that?
No.
It's awful.
One more here, Caleb.
Okay.
Sims who are on fire will no longer be forced to attend graduation before they can put themselves out.
I do remember reading that.
That is a very good one.
Yeah. So to just dive in here a little bit, let me tell you. I know you know this, Greg, but for our audience,
Caleb is fluid in Simlish.
I speak all Sim languages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty into The Sims though. I got The Sims 3 years and years and years ago, and I played a lot of it. And then The Sims 4 came out, and I bought that and played that. And then the DLCs started coming out, and I thought, oh, they're not going to have that many DLCs. I'll buy one or two. Now I own all of them,
Wow.
And there's 30 of them.
Caleb, you refinanced your house to buy all the Sims DLC.
With the money I've spent on The Sims, I could buy a whole new house. I could have bought a car, a luxury hot tub to go with the house. Yeah. Yeah, so I've played a bit of The Sims, and I will tell you, Greg, I've played the horse DLC. I gotta say, I'm actually a fan. The horse DLC is pretty neat. I have not had any horses enter my Sims homes. Um, has never happened to me, so it's interesting to hear about.
Now you're glad about that, or are you disappointed?
No, I'm glad. I'm pretty glad. Uh,
I'm glad. I'm glad.
yeah. I tell you what though, The Sims is always a wacky time. Because like there used to be options on four to make it so like packs wouldn't interact with other Sim worlds. Because usually, so when you buy a pack in The Sims, usually it comes with a map and then like some kind of new race or creature or whatever. And so usually how it goes is you can toggle a switch to make it so like if you buy a vampire pack, which I guess I shouldn't say I have all of them. I skipped the vampire and the werewolf packs. So I've saved approximately $90. No, I'm kidding. They are pretty expensive. No, but so like if you have the vampire pack, there's supposed to be a switch that's supposed to make it so like they don't go into your other packs. So pretty much you can keep each pack contained to its own world that it came in, which is great if you don't want if you don't want to play The Sims and have like three wizards dueling outside your house while a vampire's killing another Sim or something. Uh, so usually I've turned all that on because I don't want my things mingling. Well, I don't know if they updated it and got rid of the option or what, but I had to start an all new save on The Sims a while ago because I lost my huge Sims save, which I had countless hours on. This was a devastating blow to my to my Sims world, but I lost a huge save that I'd been playing since the game came out, and so I started a new one. And now all of a sudden, whatever option I clicked before is just gone. I had blue Sims walking around all of my worlds, and I have no clue how to stop it. So, listen, it's The Sims is always a journey.
See, I think like I can totally understand the appeal of wanting to have your sim expansion packs be separate.
Yeah.
But at the point where they have like as many as they have now, I think it is just as desirable to have every single expansion pack on in one world and just like see how they all interact and see how chaos ensues.
Yeah, I mean, so far with everything I have, shit's already pretty nuts. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that would actually be my preferred way to see things happen is just the most chaos.
Now, Greg, have you ever played The Sims?
A little bit. I mean, who hasn't played The Sims, honestly, but no,
Classic.
I don't have extensive Sim experience, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you're fluent in every sim language like myself,
Mhm.
Sims is but mere child's play.
Yes, quite literally.
Yeah.
But Caleb, tell me,
Yeah.
besides Simlish, what's your favorite Sims language?
Sims language. The language the horses speak. Smorshish. Smorsh.
Smorsh. Oh my god, that's my favorite YouTube company.
I know. Just got bought back too.
Yeah, the original owners.
Congratulations, Smorsh.
Mhm.
Now, Greg, I wanna ask you something.
Okay.
I recently have just finished another show, and I know you were recommending some city pop last episode, and I recommended a show. I'm gonna recommend another show. There's no music to go with this one. But and I don't. I'm gonna say this right now. I don't know if it's your jam, Greg. You might like it, but you might not. I can't think if it's like anything you've watched before. But I thought it was really good, and I recommend it to all of the audience. I just finished the first season of Invincible. Have you heard of that?
Invincible Kimmy Schmidt?
Nope. 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 Just Invincible.
Okay, no, I haven't heard of that.
So it's originally a comic book, created by, oh my god, I'm spacing on the names. I want to say Robert Kirkman is the head of it, and he was the co-creator for the Walking Dead comic book. Um, But yeah, it's done by at least one of the people that did The Walking Dead, and it's a superhero comic book that it follows a character gaining his superpowers and learning that his father, who is the greatest superhero, uh, isn't everything he thought he was. And the story's super fun, very cool. It goes a lot of unexpected places. There's a lot of twists and turns. I mean, the first episode, I remember I watched the show with Maddie, and I remember we got to the very end of the episode, and up until the last part, we were like, yeah, the show's pretty good so far. And then as soon as the last part happened, we were both like, shit, we need to watch more of this right now. That the last part of the episode's nuts. And it's kind of how the show goes for the rest of the time. So I highly recommend Invincible to anyone watching. It's a comic book, but there is a show about it, which is what I was referencing. Um, the show's really good. There's only one season out right now, but the second season is planned to come out, I think, in just a few months. So if any of you are in the mood for some more adult themed superhero stuff, I recommend it. It's pretty good.
Now, this might be this might be something that I have heard through the grapevine. Now that you mentioned that it was superhero and whatnot, but that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. I had no comprehensive point to put together there. I was just flailing at anything because I was trying to look at the pictures and like the description of it while I was talking. That was a disaster.
Oh, hey, you got there.
I got
You
there
got
eventually.
there.
Eventually,
Yeah.
barely actually, barely got there. Now Caleb, I want to talk about a mobile game. So I
Okay.
invite you into my mobile gaming corner.
Nice.
This week I want to talk about a genre that I'm a sucker for, and that's
Hang
idle.
on,
Oh,
hang
oh,
on,
oh,
hang
oh.
on. You had a prime opportunity to throw in another M word there, Greg's Mobile Gaming Mansion or something, and you said corner?
The
That's what
corner.
you're going with,
No,
Greg?
Caleb, I am a humble man of the people. I am a humble. I'm a rags to slightly less rags story. No riches. I am a humble podcast merchant. I do not have the money for a mansion.
Greg, let me lay you down on Greg's Mobile Gaming Mattress. And we'll look at this.
That's the worst. I don't like it at all. Oh my gosh. No, thank you.
Let's take a ride on Greg's Mobile Gaming Motorcycle.
Moped. I like that one. That's the one. Oh man. Caleb, idle games. Idle
Okay.
games are a genre I like quite a bit. I'm a sucker. Cookie Press. What's the game called? Gosh darn it.
Cookie Clicker?
Cookie Clicker. Cookie
There you
Presser
go.
Boy. Like that game, but the game I want to talk about this week is Cats in Soup.
Oh my god, it's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cats in Soup. I've seen it in other places before, and wanted to give it a try. Opened it up, downloaded it, and then opened it up. Opened it up. Really struggling this week. I actually had a stroke before the episode started.
Yep.
No, I played this game a little bit, and let me tell you, Caleb, these cats, they're making soup.
They love their soup.
They're making their soup, and they're cutting their carrots, and they're cutting their cabbage. It's a good game.
It's charming.
It's
The
that's
art style
the
is so
perfect
good.
word for that game is charming.
Yep.
It's so cozy, and then you sell your soups, and the downside to the game, I would say, is that it really pushes monetization pretty hard, and like the user interface is wicked cluttered with like things that it seems like they're trying to trick you into clicking things to buy stuff. Is kind of the vibe I got from it.
Oh yeah.
But luckily, these little cats, they're just so enjoyable that they make it worth like just waiting past all of the monetization and just like having a good time with these cats.
Oh, and that's the big thing too. What mobile game nowadays isn't heavily pushing monetization?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for the most part, that is true. Um, but you know what those games don't have that this game has?
Some cats and soup.
Cats and soup.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was a mobile game I've played this week. I quite recommend if you want a charming little game.
Nice. The only other game I've really been playing, I I played it specifically because I think I meant to talk about it on the podcast, but I don't think I ever have. Um, and so I decided I would download it again, give it a little play. I still don't like it, but no, I wanted to try Gotham Knights again.
Yep.
Which for anybody that is confused, it's not an Arkham game. That's the big thing you need to know about this. Not an Arkham game would be a whole lot better if it was not an Arkham game. And because of that, it just feels bad. Like the Arkham games feel solid. Okay, Greg, you've played the Arkham games somewhat, haven't you?
Barely, but yeah, I've seen Joker hit the kick a man in the balls, hit the gritty, and
Gritty
then
and
die.
die.
I have seen that.
Oh, who hasn't? So, first off, check that out on YouTube.
Absolutely.
It's worth it. Yeah, so the best word I could use to describe the Arkham games, and this is either gonna hit with people or not at all hit, and I'm gonna look like an idiot. Heavy. That's the word I would use to describe the Arkham games. Everything from this, like the setting, the style, to the actual combat and movement. Everything feels heavy, and everything feels impactful. Like when you do the combat in the Arkham games, it feels solid. When Batman punches a character, whoever, there's enough force behind the punch that you can like see in the game where like you feel like, oh, that's a hard hit right there. I would compare it a lot to the Mad Max game, which is pretty comparable because it's made by the same people. But yeah, just it in my best describing words here, it just feels very heavy. And the word I would use to describe Gotham Knights is floaty. Everything feels floaty, even the plot. The plot doesn't feel like it lands anywhere. Everything's just kind of floaty. The combat feels floaty. There's no so like the big thing in Arkham combat that made me feel like it's solid. You can counter enemy attacks. When an enemy attacks you, you push triangle or whatever console you're playing on, and then Batman does a counter, and you feel the weight of everything, and you feel like you actually just stopped that attack. Whereas in Gotham Knights, you only have a dodge button, no real counter button, which makes everything kind of feel boring and floaty, and like you're never really landing solid blows. You're just kind of jumping around a lot of enemies, and the game knows that and treats it like that, which you'd think would be a good thing, but it only makes it worse. The fact that like they try to do different types of enemies that you fight, and there's not huge variety. It's mostly small man, big man, or man with shield. So
Those are the
pretty
three
much
type
it.
of men. I don't know what you're talking about, Caleb. No other variety exists.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, Greg. There is also man with gun, but the fourth secret type. Yeah, that's it though. And I'm not saying they need more enemy variety, but the problem for me though is that it doesn't really feel like there's much strategy on how you take out the variety of enemies. They all feel like you take them out the same. And the cool thing Gotham Knights had going for it when I bought the game and was excited to play it was the fact that you have four heroes instead of wait, let me make sure I'm right about that. You have Nightwing, Robin, Barbara Gordon,
And the Ice Penguin.
and Ice Penguin, everyone's favorite hero.
Mm-hmm.
No, Red Hood. So yeah, four heroes. Um, yeah, you would think that each hero has some unique things that are unique enough that like it matters. It doesn't. It doesn't. And I know that they pushed multiplayer for the game. And I don't know, maybe if I played it multiplayer, I'd have a better time. But this is the kind of game that I wanted to experience solo, and it's just not fun. The rooftop, the whole point of like the Arkham games was like rooftop, or I guess the later Arkham games was rooftop traversal, right? You have your grapple hook and then you have your glider that you can use to get around. And they've gotten rid of the glider. Well, I shouldn't say that. There is a glider ability you can get later in the game. But until that point, there's no glider. And the grapple hook just doesn't feel as fast as it did in the Arkham games. There's a lot of just boring, slow stuff in this, and that's kind of how I would describe this game as, floaty and boring. Uh, so I picked it up again, played it for a little bit, immediately got sad again, and was like, I just want this to be Arkham. So yeah.
You mentioned the Mad Max game. That's a really like interesting gap in my like knowledge of video games. I feel like of most games that have been popular in the past 10 years, I have at least like a passing like referential ability or knowledge of them. And that Mad Max game I've just always been completely out of the loop on.
Don't feel bad about that. It went under everybody's radar. It came out along some other pretty big games if I remember right. But I can't recommend Mad Max enough. I've actually been thinking about replaying it because I played it so long ago that like I've forgotten half the game anyways. So I've been thinking about starting it over and replaying it because it's a real gem of a game. I recommend it. I mean, I recommend it to you, Greg, and I recommend it to the audience too. It's a solid game. And if you like Mad Max, it doesn't matter if you've seen the new movie or the old ones, doesn't matter. The game perfectly captures that wasteland driving that anybody that knows about Mad Max is familiar with. So highly recommend it. Very underrated game in my opinion.
Seeing Fury Road in theaters was like a seminal experience of my early adulthood. It was like it personifies everything that is one of those movies that like you need to go see in a theater, you know? Like those visuals on the big screen and like the pounding surround sound is just like it is a theater movie. I don't think it would hold up as good to seeing it on just like a home TV that's just like your average setup.
Well, Greg, let me tell you, I saw it on the home TV. That was my average setup.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't bad. I think, I don't know if the movie's liked or not. I think it actually has a pretty bad reputation among Mad Max fans. I liked it. I thought it was a fine movie. And it was okay. I still remember watching it in like a home setting, and it was fine. But I am a little jealous because that does definitely seem like the kind of movie that's 1,000 times better in theaters.
Yeah, it's like Oppenheimer. If I were gonna see that movie, it would need to be in theaters.
Oh yeah, I want the surround sound to blast me like the bomb.
Yep, exactly. Now, Caleb, we mentioned the Ice Penguin, and that was actually a plug for me. The Ice Penguin is going to be my upcoming comic book.
Nice.
No, but for someone who doesn't like action or like the what do you call them? Action heroes, superheroes.
There you go.
I got there. For someone who doesn't really care about superheroes, I want to write a comic book so bad.
Do you really?
I don't know why. You know what it is?
Yeah.
I read the Bone books.
Oh yeah.
Bones.
You are
so
a boner.
Caleb, get off of my podcast. Introducing our new host, Kamal Nanjiani.
You know, I do kind of get that though. Like I have never wanted to like there's not even a part of me that even slightly wants to have anything to do with like making movies, but at the same time like there is a part of me that's like if I could make a movie, that would be the coolest thing on the planet.
Yeah, I completely get that.
So yeah, I get you. I get where you're coming from with the comic books. Do you do any writing?
Not so much current or anymore. I dabbled in creative writing in my day, but
oh, dude, writing's the best.
Yeah, it's a good time.
You get a story in your head, you write something down. Doesn't have to be good. In fact, I think most of the time I write something and I look at it and I think, oh, that's hot shit.
Yeah.
But
Well, Caleb, I
uh,
mean, you're writing a lot of
bone fan
Yes,
fiction.
exactly.
Oh man. No, yeah, that is pretty cool though. I lost my train of thought now. Yeah, I do recommend Invincible if you're interested in comic books at all. You should either look at the comic book itself or watch the show. I recommend the show. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's pretty good, pretty good.
Caleb, well, I've got you here.
Yeah,
I
while you
want
got
I
me.
want to give you a little chicken update.
Oh, okay.
He's decided to remove his eye patch for a little bit.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness, the man can see
We
again.
got a two-eyed chicken over here,
Oh man,
and living his best life. I will say, living his best life over here.
that's
So
good.
it's a quick chicken update for you.
The chicken. This will be known as the chicken
A
episode.
chupdate, if you will.
Chopped. Nice.
So dumb. All I've done this episode is push two words together. That's all I've done.
Is the chicken also a fan of the Bone comics?
Hasn't experienced him yet. Is much more of a
Okay.
Superman fan, actually. Likes to stick to
Yeah,
the classics.
that's the thing. Everybody's a Superman fan before they're a boner, you know. But when they start getting into Bone, you become a boner.
You get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh man, what a good episode! This is a good one.
I want to recommend a video for all our listeners. I want to. It's Joker kicks a man in the balls, hits the gritty, and then dies. No, I'm kidding. Of course, this is a serious podcast. Caleb, rein it in.
Yeah.
This video is by a channel called Game Maker's Toolkit, and the video is called Valve's Secret Weapon. Game Maker's Toolkit's really cool. It's a series of videos where basically they talk about some element of how games are made or game design or kind of behind the scenes stuff. And it's really cool because I get to learn a little bit more about video games and what makes them fun to play and whatnot. This video specifically talks about looking at especially Portal, but moreover just how Valve playtests their games. And I think that's really interesting because Valve games are so physics heavy, yet they like work pretty reliably.
Oh, absolutely.
And so they were talking about how important it was, like their process basically. And I may not get this 100% correct, but they start with like saying to the team to like set a goal of what you want someone to achieve in a level. And in Portal, those are always, get to the exit and use the portal gun to solve whatever problem. And then start making these rooms around that goal and introducing elements. And then they really refine their design in playtesting. And I just thought that video was really interesting and kind of a cool inside look at how like games that are so physics heavy can be made without being terribly broken.
Interesting.
Check it out, Caleb.
Yeah.
Come back next week with a 5-paragraph essay.
I'll come back next week with an essay. I'll put an apple on your desk. Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You call me Professor Greg.
And Greg, I want you to go home. All right, and I want you to come back next week with a certificate of authenticity, proving that you are a certified member of the boner community.
There was zero chance you weren't getting there. There like I had my moment where I could see all of the infinite universes, and there wasn't a single one where you didn't land on boner.
Dude, once a boner, always a boner.
Caleb, if you land on boner, don't pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to jail.
Go straight to jail. Yeah.
Anyways.
So, anything else you want to talk about, Greg?
I think we've just about covered it all. We're a little on the short side this week, but what you're going to do, you know?
Hey, sometimes you need a short episode. Everybody likes a break, you know?
Mhm.
This gives you more time to go out and check out all of the things we've recommended. Invincible, Joker hits the gritty, kicks a man in the balls and dies.
Game
Check
Maker's
out the Bone
Toolkit.
comic book series, Game Maker's Toolkit, Kenshi, the game on Steam. We didn't talk about it. Go check that out. Teardown. What else is popping up on Steam in front of me?
Caleb's just listing off Steam.
Go check out Insurgency Sandstorm.
Go check out Darude Sandstorm.
Check out Darude Sandstorm. And I think with that, we're wrapping this puppy up.
Now, Caleb, we have a website called pintandclick.com where you can check that out if you're so inclined. We have an Instagram.
We do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is pint_and_click.
That is the Instagram, yep.
Please reach out to me. Let me know if you're also a boner. At my email address, greg@pintandclick.com. So it's just the lowest common denominator.
Oh, man.
If you like
Let
the
us know.
episode, tell a friend.
Tell us.
Tell
us
me.
that you like it.
Yes. I'm tired of speaking out to the void. I want the void to look back.
There's nothing better than validation, am I right?
There's nothing I like more than being validated. If you don't like the podcast, never seek me out. I don't. I will be internally crushed by your feedback. But if you like it, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other calls to action, Caleb?
I think we've called just about all the actions we can.
Solve one crime this week.
Solve one crime and get back to us. Solve it. Stop a crime, actually. Don't solve one. Stop one.
Yes, prevent
Stop
a
one.
crime.
Yeah, because, if you say solve it, you can go out and investigate. We don't want you doing that. You're not a detective. What do you look like? Come on.
You're not a detective. You're someone who should be putting yourself in the active harm.
You should be fighting out there. The rooftops, they call your name. Run, roof to roof. Stop crimes. Be the hero.
Oh, my gosh.
Do what Gotham Knights fails to do.
Caleb, our lawyer just got on the phone with me here real quick. He said, I'm actually not your lawyer, but I am a lawyer, and tell everyone not to actually do that.
People do it. Hear what we say. Fight crime. That's what they say, right? Be the change you want to be.
See in the world, you fool.
Is that what Michael Jackson said?
No!
Wasn't there a song about...
We are the world is
We
different.
are the world, that's... Oh, what an ending. All right.
Be the change you want to see in the world is Gandhi.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. Well, hey, Michael Jackson said it best.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
That is what he said.
Oh, man.
Put those old records back on the shelf. That's what Michael Jackson said. All right. Well,
man.
yeah.
Thank you all for listening. Yep.
Oh, whoa, Greg.
Yeah.
A little double one right there.
Telepathy right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Split that out into stereo in the mix and really give some people some ASMR.
Nice. Yeah. We'll see you all in the next episode.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.